All right, section 4.1 is just about classifying triangles, okay? So first, we're going to review acute angles. Their measure is less than 90 degrees. Right angles, their measure equal 90 degrees, and obtuse angles are bigger than 90 degrees, okay, but also less than 180. All right, so there are two different ways to classify triangles, okay, and every triangle can have two different classifications, I guess, okay. The first way is by their angles, okay, and this is just the type of angles in the triangle. All right. If all three angles are acute, that's called an acute triangle. Okay. If we've got one obtuse angle, that's an obtuse triangle. Okay, and if we've got one right angle, that is a right triangle. Okay. Equiangular just means that all three angles are congruent, okay? And those equiangular triangles will also be acute triangles, okay? And we'll talk more about that in section 2, okay? But we can also classify triangles by their side lengths, okay? Now the side lengths, we are looking at how many congruent sides there are. Okay, so an equilateral triangle, the word equilateral sounds like equal lateral, okay, equal sides. So an equilateral has all three sides congruent. Okay, we've got isosceles triangles, and a way I like to remember this, we have two eyes. So isosceles triangles have at least two congruent sides. Okay, and then last but not least, a scalene triangle, there are no congruent sides. Okay, so here we're gonna practice. Okay, these first three we're just classifying by angles. So here, 49 is acute, 34 is acute, but 97 is obtuse. So this first one is an obtuse triangle. Okay. Here we've got 60, 60, 60. So we could say it is an acute. Okay, but we can also call it equiangular because all three angular angles are congruent. Okay. Example 3, I see an acute, but boom, right there, there's my right angle. So this last one is a right triangle. Okay. Number 4, M is the midpoint of JL. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, if M is the midpoint, I'm going to cut 1.5 in half. So this is 0.75, this is 0.75, okay? And since these two are marked congruent, this side here is also 0.75, okay? Now, triangle JKM, I'm going to say is then equilateral. Okay, because we found JM by dividing that in half because M was the midpoint. Okay, this is 0.75 units long. This was 0.75 units long because M was the midpoint. Since these are marked congruent, this is 0.75, and remember equilateral triangles have all three congruent sides. Okay. Example number 5 says find the measures of the sides of the isosceles triangle. Okay, since these are my two sides that are marked congruent, I'm going to set 5x minus 1/2 equal to 4x plus 1. Okay, if I move 4x and I add the 1/2, I get an x value of 1.5. Okay, but I didn't just want my x value, I wanted the lengths of these sides. All right, so my x value is going to go into x in all of these expressions. 4 times 1.5 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay, so AC is 7. BC is also 7 because those are congruent. Okay, 9 times 1.5 is 13.5, minus 1 is 12.5. So that's how long AB is. Okay. Example 3 here, find the measures of the sides of the equilateral triangle. Okay, since it's an equilateral triangle, you get to pick any two of these expressions to set equal to each other, okay? I'm going to say 3y minus 3 equals 2y plus 5, okay? And again, since it's equilateral, you get to choose any two will work, okay? If I add 3 to both sides and get my y's on one side, I get y to be a positive 8. All right, but 8 is not what I was looking for. I wanted the length of the sides, so I'm going to pick any one of these 3 to put my y value back in. And I choose 2y, so 2 times 8 is 16 plus 5 is 21. All 3 of those sides of triangle FGH are 21 units long.